Okay, my fourth and fifth grade friends, Mrs. Real here with another lesson from another story. So last week I sent you guys a link to our story, The Amazing Bone by William Steig, and I challenged you to be listening for words that you could use when you're writing dialogue in your stories other than the word said. I found over 30. I'm hoping that you guys were kind of keeping track, listening. You've listened to it once or twice. You maybe made a list of those great words that you can use in your writing other than the word said. So today, this week, I have a new story for you. I probably read this one to you also because it's great books and I keep using them over and over again. This one is The Great Fuzz Frenzy. I used it last year a lot because, again, the sister authors, Janet Stevens and Susan Stevens Crummel, were at the Tucson Festival of Books presenting. This one today, I'm challenging you to listen for some vivacious verbs, some really great ing words, doing words, so that when you are, again, writing, instead of just saying, you know, the dog walked over here, or the cat ran there, or the person stepped down the street. There are lots of other ways that you can say things in those doing actions. Plus, this is a really funny story. So I get to read you a funny story. I get to use funny voices, and hopefully you will be listening for other ways of moving, doing, action words that are going on in here. So as I get ready to share the screen, please know that this book, the pages turn sideways or long ways or fold out, and so I'm going to be moving this around a lot. Right now I'm going to turn this lamp off just to see if we can't get less glare. Didn't really help. I've turned off the light on the document camera. We're still getting quite a bit of glare. I wish I could turn the one over my head off so it doesn't look like I have a halo on my head all the time, but you know, this is where I work and this is the way it's going to be. So here we go. The Great Fuzz Frenzy. And the story, not the words, but the pictures on the first few pages kind of set us up for our story. So we see a dog playing ball and lots of little animals. And the dog's nose going down underground because there's worms and bugs and ants and things. The Great Fuzz Frenzy. Words up here. Violet, no. Oof. Violet, where's the ball? Down it went. Boink, boink. Run for your life. Thump, thump. Watch out below. Rumble, rumble. Help, help, help. Plunk. There it sat, perfectly still. The prairie dogs waited, perfectly still. Prairie dogs tend to do that when they wonder what's going on or if there's danger. They kind of freeze and check things out for a while. But there it is, down in their burrow. Slowly, they crept out, inch by inch, dog by dog. What is it? A thing? A good thing or a bad thing? A round thing? A strange thing? A scary thing? What should we do? Don't touch it. Shh! Is it alive? I like the hat on this one. Stand back! Boomed a voice. You act like a gutless groundhog's, afraid of your own shadow. Oh no, it's Big Bark. Big Mouth is more like it. He's the meanest dog around. I thought he left town. Well, I'm back, growled Big Bark. So out of my way. Let me have a look. But before anyone could move, little Pipsqueak raced past Big Bark, reached out and poked the big round thing. No! The crowd yelled. It's Fuzzy, said Pip. Ooh, the crowd gasped. A tiny piece of fuzz was caught in Pip's claw. She looked at it, turned it, sniffed it, then she put it on her head. Look at me! Ah, the crowd sighed. Quit hemming it up, you half-pint hamster, snarled Big Bark. I'm in charge. Pretty sure that Big Bark is the dude with the cap on his head. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They had to have Fuzz. I like it, me too. I want some, do you? Oh yes, so do I, so do we, so do they. Big Bark, move over, get out of our way. They charged past him and grabbed at the Fuzz. The prairie dogs pulled it, puffed it, stretched it, fluffed it, tugged it, twirled it, spiked it, swirled it. They fuzzed their ears, their heads, their noses. They fuzzed their feet, their tails, their toeses. Here's a hint. Those are the words that we're looking for. They're doing words. Big Bark was beside himself. Listen to me, you ridiculous rodents. Stop this fuzzy foolishness. Oh my gosh, look at that. Ears. Like Benjamin Franklin hair. Martha Washington hair. Hairy slippers, like big old bare feet slippers. This one's got like a boa that's going to be a belt. Love the tail fuzz. Gloves, mittens. They're creative. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, bunny dogs. Yeah, there's the bunny ears, the Superman face or mask. You're all nuts, you squirrely fuzz freaks, yelled Big Bark, storming off. News of the Fuzz spread from hole to hole, burrow to burrow, town to town. Prairie dogs usually have really great interconnected villages of holes and tunnels underneath the ground. When you have one, there's usually hundreds. Soon, prairie dogs from everywhere were coming to see that Fuzz. They came, they saw, they picked. Some more doing words coming up. They twisted it, braided it, danced and paraded it. It was a Fuzz frenzy, a Fuzz fiesta, a Fuzz fandangle. The whole prairie was a buzz about Fuzz. They picked and pruned and pulled and pinched. They pinched and pulled and pruned and picked until the Fuzz ran out. That big round thing was fuzzless, naked as a plucked chicken. Some prairie dogs got a lot of fuzz. Some got a little. Some got no fuzz at all, and they were mad. Give me that fuzz! Why? Because it's my fuzz. Well, it was. Get that fuzz! Get that fuzz! It's a fuzz fight for sure. Pulling, grabbing, swiping, nabbing, poking, jabbing. It was a war. War between the Fuzzes and the Fuzz Knots. Their peaceful town was a battleground. It was a fuzz fight, a fuzz feud, a fuzz fiasco. I started this, moaned Pipsqueak. I have to do something. Everyone, stop! Stop fighting! One little dude right in the middle, girl in the middle, I'm not sure that her voice is going to be heard. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. The battle raged on, friend against friend, cousin against cousin, dog against dog, until no one was left standing. They were pooped, fuzzled out, fast asleep. Oh, but if you look up in the top corner of our picture, you might notice a hint as to what might come next. Hours later, the prairie dogs began to stir. Uh-oh, where's the fuzz? I don't know. Where did it go? Someone has stolen our fuzz, cried Pipsqueak. Who did? He did. She did. You did. I did, barked a voice from above. I stole the fuzz. The prairie dogs froze. Then they raced up, up, up the long tunnel. There stood Big Bark, covered with fuzz from head to tail. I'm king of the fuzz, he snarled. Do you hear me? I'm king of the... Swoop! The sky went black. And again, there's a detail coming up in the picture. Predict what happened. What do you think just disappeared, made the sun disappear from the sky? What happened? Where's Big Bark? Look! There he was, high above their heads, dangling from the talons of an eagle. No more Big Bark, the crowd cheered. Yay! Don't yay! He's one of us, yelled Pip. We have to save him. How would you like to be Eagle's lunch? No, the crowd yelled. He looks almost like a sheep with all that fuzz on him, flying through the air with an eagle. Big Bark! Wiggle free! The prairie dogs shouted. Shake loose! Hurry! We'll catch you! Big Bark twisted and turned, wormed and squirmed. At last he was free of the fuzz. Yay! The crowd cheered. Big Bark fell faster and faster. No! Prairie dogs scattered. Get back here, yelled Pip. Quick! Make a circle! Hold out your paws! They ran left, then right, then left. Plop. Whew, I got him. You saved me, Big Bark cried. But I stole your fuzz. Now it's gone forever. Good, said Pipsqueak. Fuzz is trouble, right? Yay! The crowd cheered. Friend hugged friend. Cousin hugged cousin. Dog hugged dog. We don't need fuzz, said Pip. But with Eagle around, we do need a watchdog with a big... I like that he's handing him his hat back. Bark! Big Bark rose up on his hind legs. Eagle's back! Bark! This is not a test! Bark! All dogs below! Bark! This is actually how prairie dogs do work in their little towns together. There's somebody, at least one somebody, always keeping an eye out while everybody else is up above ground, and they bark or chirp these warnings when predators are near, and all of the prairie dogs then dive back into their tunnels. So here's their tunnel that they can head back down into. And there they go. On down in. The prairie dogs raced down, down, down the long tunnel. Whew, we made it. That was close. 3 cheers for Big Bark, the best watchdog ever. Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Just doing my job, Big Bark smiled. Are we ever getting tangled up with Fuzz again? Cried Pipsqueak. No, the crowd yelled. No more Fuzz! No more Fuzz! And from that day forward, the prairie dogs lived happily and fuzzlessly ever after. Or did they? You decide. It's a different color. Does it start all over again? I don't know. Fuzz is pretty fair. Fun. So my friends, I hope you heard some great doing words in there. There was lots of movement, lots of action, lots of things that they were doing as they were picking Fuzz and plucking Fuzz and twirling Fuzz and all of those things that they were doing. So again, you can listen to the story again. You can make that list and keep it near so that when you're doing some writing, you might have some great words, or you can just keep the thought in your brain that there's more words to choose from than just the ones that you use over and over and over again. And just like when you were little and all you wrote was I like, I like, I like, I like, I like. It's a great way to get started, but when you want to make your writing better, you need to expand upon some of these themes. So think about it next time you have something to write. And I will see you again next week with a different story. Bye-bye.